Should we start with the royal family then? Perhaps surprising to people who are watching and listening this morning. 34% saying they're not proud of our royal family. Do you think this is something to do with the publication of Snare this week?
Yeah, I think timing is crucial with polling. If you'd asked this question in September last year, I think you've got a much, much higher answer just after the Queen had passed away. And I suspect if you ask the question again around the coronation, you might get a different answer because the kind of pageantry and pomp and the more sort of celebratory aspects of the monarchy would be on show. But yeah, I mean, at the moment it looks like a kind of circus. We're seeing a family feud played out in public, and it's not a very edifying spectacle for anyone. And the royal that people are seeing the most of is Prince Harry, and I mean, just the number of kind of revelations in the book and the whole saga. It's not a great look for the royal family. I am slightly surprised it's that low, though. I think in general the monarchy is a quite beloved institution. It's also worth pointing out there's a big kind of don't know column there. About a third of people are saying they don't know either way. So and that's probably people who might change depending on sort of what's in the news or what's going on. Yeah,
and time to rescue it with the coronation on the way.
Yeah, I think so.
Those kind of occasions kind of rouse people, don't they? And, that can work in the royal family's favour.
Absolutely, and also I think it's one of the last truly kind of national institutions we have, because the UK, I mean, one of your stories about Scotland and Westminster working together today, because the UK has become so kind of fragmented, we don't really have kind of shared sports teams apart from the Olympics. Like, the Royals are one of the things that really brings all four nations of the UK together. And yeah, I suspect if you did this poll again later this year during the coronation, you'd probably get a much more positive response.
Yeah. It does show, doesn't it, though, the wider impact, because, as you say, we are only hearing from Prince Harry. We're not hearing from the new Prince and Princess of Wales. They avoided questions about it yesterday, but it's having a wider impact on the entire family, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they can't help but be asked questions about this because of the kind of tell-all nature of the book. I have some sympathy for the rest of the royals because, generally speaking, they don't come out and talk about their private life or their personal relationships. So this is actually quite an unusual thing for them. You get little bits and pieces. I mean, the Queen was a perfect example of that. You had little vignettes of stuff she'd said in private to people, but she was not particularly... she didn't talk about her private life or her family life very much. So I think a lot of people think that this kind of thing is very unbecoming for a royal.
Could you ever see a break from that, though? Because that's the Queen. This is like a new generation. And Prince Charles has talked about slimming down the royal household and more modern royal household. Could you maybe just a break from that and actually we'll do an interview?
I think, in a way, it could go either way. They could say, look at Harry and look how much we're going to fool he's making of himself in the public eye among a lot of people, and think we don't want to do that, so we carry on. Or, as you say, the royal family is moving with the times in various respects. Personally, I don't really back the idea that the royal family has to be particularly modern. I think one of its strengths is that it's the fulcrum of British tradition, and it's something that we kind of keep together. But yeah, I mean, I think that it certainly could mark a kind of generational change, as you say. Yeah.